Hello, everyone. My players have an energy and I have fear.
Good.
Fear can be an energy.
Yes,
It's the most intense energy of all, I'd say.
yes, it is. It is, in fact, a tense amount of energy. um, uh, but I believe, more importantly, before we get started into our game and all of that, one, we have one of our members who was not here the previous session, so I will dump that art down here.
Hey, there he is.
Uh, and most importantly, before starting, this is a good time where I would like to give anyone a chance to. I have announcements of my own, sort of, but if anyone would like to plug and promote, please do so. Now is the time.
Well, I've got one, sort of. It's sort of not an impending one, but a sort of more of a constant one. But hi, everybody. Lucas Santana here from Rule of Lore. And that is incidentally what I am here to talk to you about today. Rule of Lore. You can find me over there on almost every Friday, with some rare exceptions, on Ramblemancy, where we have sort of a roundtable style talk show where we talk about all kinds of nerdy stuff, sometimes with guests. So, yeah, that's Fridays at 6 p.m. Pacific time, and then occasional video game streams peppered in throughout. We're working on bringing more actual plays, but we're kind of in the early production process at the moment. So, yeah,
It's so
stay
much
tuned.
work.
It's so much work. It really is. Logistics are hard. Also, trying to schedule anybody for anything even remotely close to the summer is just a nightmare.
Yeah. Alright, anyone else got anything?
Yeah. I'm Silver Sugar. You can find me on most social medias X Silver Sugar, especially my Tumblr where I take art commissions. Please, I need money. Yep, that's it. I'm super professional.
Heck yeah.
Hi, I'm Slay. You can find me on Twitter at sons_of_warband. I'm a TTRPG performer, and I want to get into more actual plays, so cast me in your actual plays.
Yes.
Alright. Anything else here? Or is that it from everyone here? Just quick and clean this time? I like that. So, for myself here, I do have announcements-ish. The only reason I say announcement-ish is, very importantly, follows and stuff are very supportive to this Twitch channel, which if you have not done so, please do so. In addition to
Smash that button.
not too hard.
Click the
Don't
subscribe.
break your keyboard. But on top of that, if we get to I will say if we get to a 30 follower goal here, I will do a quick edit and release and upload onto our YouTube. I will upload our episode 0 that we did, called Moving Day. It's a wonderful little kind of meet the cast, and everyone kind of got a feel for their characters a little bit in that. Certain puns that caught me off guard. But yeah, you know who you are.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
That's okay, I do.
I
But
plead the fifth.
if we get to a much higher goal, because I do have them currently in the works right now, if we get to a higher goal, say looking optimistic, if we get to that nice
Million
50
billion.
number, that 50 follower count, I will hopefully have a, shall we say, math box that have rune and relic art on them.
Ooh.
There won't be a lot of them, but if we get to that 50 follower goal, I will probably do every now and again. I will do a little giveaway, and we will coordinate, and I will send you a D20 that is with our. If you can see it, if I'm doing this correctly, I believe it's this direction. With our Twitch channel logo, it will have that art on it.
Fancy!
That's very cool.
Everybody follow. I want one.
Oh no, the cast here is guaranteed at least one. I will coordinate with all of them to make that happen.
Aw, too
Everyone
kind.
follow. I want everybody to have
Still
one.
follow anyway.
Nice.
Yeah.
But that is my little promotional announcement. But with all of that said, I think we are going to. I think I'm about to jump into. Well, I say myself, but everyone is about to jump into some fantastic storytelling because stories are what we do, and stories are always good. So, without further ado, let's jump into Star Trek Intelligence, Episode 2, Persons of Interest, Part 2. Well then, welcome back. So, when last we all left off, the command field team of the Seoul Atlantic Field Office of Special Operations and Projects, that's a mouthful, was freshly moving in. There was a little bit of housing problems for our security officer, as it was recommended and heavily advised by the commander that they shouldn't stay in the overnight rooms permanently. However, with that being the case, everyone kind of finding their place within this building, a mission alert went off, and the team was given a mission by their director, Vice Admiral Ifrajal. For those of you who don't remember, I'm taking a little bit of a page out of Rick Budd's book here because describing every NPC is a hellscape. She is a Trill. She is cast by Kate Winslet. Oh, man. Okay, that's where we're at.
Get them frogs out.
No, those are staying. But upon getting this mission alert, Jolene summoned everyone from this team as they were to do a little bit of looking over, and a Starfleet Marine private Onapeshin, a Bajoran, stole from the dark side of the moon of planet G0822, which is a pre-warp planet, from a medical facility there, and stole a project known as Project Caduceus, a revolutionary medical research project. And she was deemed on the run and a fugitive, and potentially a danger to the wider Starfleet and United Federation of Planets. Having no ability to answer those questions on Earth, the best course of action was to take the USS Hypatia, which again, registry number, which is up here, is NCC 59421, which I hope someone very clever will eventually figure out what that means. I'm not going to tell you what it means, but yeah, maybe
That
someone in
sounds
chat
so
will figure it out.
familiar. That sounds
No,
so
you
familiar.
just going, yeah.
However, but upon arriving at this planet, there was a shuttle explosion from one of the nacelle pylons, a little bit of work, and through some ingenuity on Gavai's part, was able to suss out some of the planet's uncanny valley vibes that it had going about it recently. Using a little bit of scans and such, you were able to determine that the private was indeed planet-side, being tracked down by what you can Biosigns read. I believe had said human and Betazoid. With that being the case, Jaloran sent Lieutenant Commander Hone, Lieutenant Caraballo, and Ensign Loris alongside another security officer, planet-side, via shuttle, as transporters are just a no-go. The plasma storms that sort of surround the planet are dangerous, so hopefully there's a decent pilot for that. However, as the planet begins to have its shuttle descent on the dark side of the moon, a ship was scanned entering the high atmosphere and orbit of this planet, a Sovereign-class variant vessel, dark obsidian hull, and this dark blue kind of glow for its lighting. There was enough ability to scan and see and magnify the ship, and the ship's name is called the Judicator. It is a large... it's a... For those of you that don't know what a Sovereign-class vessel is, it is relatively... I would say it's just underneath the... They might not call it that, but it might as well be classified as a warship. That's kind of what it is. But that leads us into the clouds and the storm of planet G0822. Tate, Alec, and Mira, this storm and traversing the turbulence here, because I believe, Jaloran, you had them take a type, I want to say type 11 shuttle?
Yes.
Yeah, so taking a type 11, a little bit of hull and integrity to it doesn't mean the flight down is super easy. So I want to ask this question for no particular reason at all. Who's flying? Who's at the con?
I am.
Okay.
Kate is.
Perfect. Give me one
That's
moment.
good. I could fly. I just don't know if you want me there.
All right. This is going
That
to
sounds
be
like a threat.
This is going to be a control con roll with
Oh,
a
nice.
difficulty of 3, and I am already early on spending 3 points of threat.
So does that increase the complication range?
Yes. So, with that being the complication range, with 3 points of threat, if you roll a so if you roll a 17 or higher, those are complications.
Okay. Question.
Yes.
Do we have any momentum left?
Nope. New scene.
Nope.
New scene,
Oh,
new game.
cool. Cool. Well, let me just roll. Give me a sec. I'm pretty good at this.
Hold on.
Okay, I got it. 5.
Nice.
I have a talent that gives me a little boost on that. On control rolls.
Yep. So, you said 5? Or
Yes, I got 5 successes.
5? Oh, yeah. I forgot about... Yep,
Dang,
you're
you
right.
are a beast.
Yeah. Okay.
Control rolls are where I live.
Okay. Well then. Y'all already have 2 points of momentum. All right. This is turbulent. There is no question about this. This is a Type 10 shuttle should be able to maneuver through this no problem, but these plasma storms are incredibly violent. And these lull periods, though they do happen, don't happen frequently enough.
Oh, just making sure my piloting focus does come into play, right?
Yes, it does.
Just making sure. I figured, but I wanted to make sure.
There's no reason why this wouldn't come into.
It's not like you're flying anything.
No. It could be controlled falling. However, you are able to get below the clouds, even though there is some strikes that hit the hull, and they do rattle this vessel. Like, remember, a Type 11 shuttle is fairly large. It's still not huge, so getting struck by lightning or anything of the like, you feel it. As, lightning strikes kind of hit and everything kind of shakes a little violently for half a second before you're able to break beneath the cloud cover. Where are you headed here? Because you have to keep in mind this is a pre-warp planet, and any type of interference could potentially violate. Now, that's not to say the Prime Directive might not have already been violated, but you do have to be careful because you could alter their natural flow of development.
I'm going to be doing my best to stay out of any scanners. And so, where exactly on the planet did we find those life signs for our pilot? Or private?
For her, you found them in kind of like a forested area. Think like the western side of the Rocky Mountains.
I'm going to try and get us down in there somewhere.
All right, going off of your previous role, that's not hard for you to accomplish. It's one of those things where it is it's landing isn't hard, but it is one of those things where you're gonna have to land a ways off and then make your way on foot.
Okay. That's what we do.
Okay. With that being said,
I would like to point something out for Alec.
Mhm.
Alec, my previous host Kadan cannot fly very well.
I was literally just about to ask you that. So,
Yeah.
okay, cool.
Kadan couldn't fly very well. Tate can.
Alec is going to just sort of like give a sideways glance, say, I'm not going to lie. I was fully ready to have to eject at some point there.
The other security officer, your NPC, kind of like
Mir-
looks over, like, what?
Long story, don't worry about it.
You genuinely treated this like a fucking ride in an amusement park. Just woo. Okay, this could not have gone wrong. I'm pretty sure.
I think Kadan intentionally did that to scare you, but who knows?
I knew it.
Also, one thing that actually kind of scares her, and she will really quickly lean to Alec and kind of hesitate before whispering very carefully. So, sir, right, sir, I'm sorry. Could I possibly ask you a question?
I mean, feel free. Also, don't do the whole sir thing, please. I may not be particularly adept at command, but that is the end of that sentence. Proceed.
Sir, I genuinely cannot remember your name, but yes. So I may have not gotten to that part in the manual. So could you please tell me? This is planet before the first contact and such. I can't take pictures, right?
No.
I'm not allowed.
Commander says
right?
no.
Yeah. We're not here. We're not here to sightsee, Ensign. We're here to get this pilot and get gone. Get the Marine private and get gone.
No, I totally understand it. Yeah, sure. I'm sorry. Just my first ever going away from Earth thing. So, yeah. But thank you for telling me.
I understand. You can take pictures at another time, but right now we have a mission.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks. She's like literally just red face.
I just sort of give her like an encouraging smile and just say, "Deep breaths, private. Deep breath, ensign."
Yeah, I got it. I'm fine. Thank you. I'm just not gonna sweat about it. This is fine.
Yeah. Alec, you notice that Tate does that thing that Kadan used to do when he got a little nervous, the little twitch of their finger towards their like they're poking themselves in the palm a little bit.
Yeah. Alec will note that, but not call any attention to it. Say,
Yeah.
"All right. How are we going to play this, Commander?"
Well, we have her life signs. We should be able to scan her much better now that we're on this side of the storm. We'll find her. According to the scans we already made, she's being pursued. So be careful. Be on the lookout. She is our priority. We need to get her out of here. Anything else is secondary.
Understood.
Understood.
Question, GM. As far as like loadout for what we would have brought with us, was there an opportunity to grab what do we have? Is basically what I'm asking here.
It's probably, given the urgency of the situation, probably were equipped only with what you had on your person, or the Type 11 shuttle is fitted with, and a Type 11 shuttle does in fact have a small armory in the back of it because it's a big shuttle. The only thing that is larger than it is a Danube runabout. So it does have access to these lovely, shall we... They're the phaser rifles from, more accurately, there are two sets of them. There are two compression phaser rifles, which are very bulky and large, and then there are the other, just the Mark, I believe they're the Mark 9 phasers, which are the phaser rifles seen on First Contact, I believe.
Okay, cool.
Quick question: Mira would not be allowed to grab a weapon.
it's advisable that you have at least a type 1 or 2 phaser on you, if anything, just to protect yourself.
Yeah. Especially, I
heck
feel like in
yeah.
a situation like this one where we know that there is like active possibility of danger.
She would probably
Then
have the type 2.
Then there's a very excited woman sitting there, because, yeah, before that she only held either training ones or
Ugh.
contraband, stolen
I
stuff. So,
Alec is gonna note this and just go, "You ever fired one of those things before?"
you serious? Everyone did. I mean, well, yeah, I know how to fight. Don't worry
Okay,
about it.
just making sure you know which end to hold.
All right, let's.
The
Gives him like a side eye, like, seriously?
All right, let's get to work, guys. We don't know how much longer the Marine has.
Understood. I'm ready.
All right, let's go.
stepping out, the first thing that I guess, Alec and Mira, the first things you would notice for the two of you, because it affects you a little differently than it does to Tate, the atmosphere here is incredibly healthy. You're almost confident. You feel just a little bit, not by a lot, but just a little bit lighter on your feet, and you're pretty confident that your blood flow, like running throughout your body and oxygen getting to your brain, will probably be just ever so slightly easier.
And what do I feel?
You'd feel equivalent to about Earth.
Okay.
Earth before, it met this wonderful little thing called ozone pollution.
The delightful
I will
pollution.
always give the older generation shit for that. But undercurrent. But the exiting and going through, you are still about from where you've landed. It's probably about a half kilometer of a jaunt.
All right. Do we have her location? Like, were we able to keep track of her, or
You were
was that
able to
scan?
keep track of her. However, given how this planet works and how thick everything is, especially with like a forested kind of mountainy area, you
Extra thick.
will see. You'll definitely see a biosign, but it's probably not going to be totally accurate. It'll be accurate within about 100-yard radius, which is not large, but it's not small either.
Okay. All right.
So
All
at
right.
least we should enter the area.
Yeah.
Looks like we're doing this one the old-fashioned way, and
Be cautious.
I
She's being pursued by 2 people so far.
can I use? I do have a focus in survival. Can I use? Can I try to sort of like basically get us over sort of the rough terrain as much as easily and quickly as possible?
Yeah, you know what? That's a really good idea. Let's find.
This is what Alec was built to do.
Yeah,
Field
I
ops.
think this is going to be probably. This feels like this is going to be. Yeah, this. Seeing as this is survival and you're traversing land, I feel like
Mhm.
fitness security actually works here pretty well.
Ooh,
Um,
that's my second best combination of things.
so I think fitness security with a difficulty of 2, just because of the terrain is
Sure.
a little rough.
Okay. Let's see. Fitness, security. Cool. All right. Okay. So, so, um, okay. You're gonna have to remind me. Is there? I don't remember what all the momentum or not momentum. Determinations do. Burning determinations do.
Believe
But
if
like
I
what?
recall.
One of them does. I think one of them does let you re-roll.
That's what I was thinking, but I
Yeah,
couldn't remember, and I can't find it. But
I think so. Listen, formatting books is hard, and
yeah,
sometimes finding stuff in badly formatted books is worse.
okay. So you know what? I think I'm not going to do that right here because I don't think this is that bad. So just to be clear, is the complication range still the same?
The complication range for this roll right here is only if a 20 is rolled.
Good, but I still failed twice, so it's 2 failures.
Okay. Good stuff.
I know this is terrible. Yeah,
Well, you know, good rolls all the time make for a boring story. Um,
absolutely.
the terrain, you are without a doubt an expert in this. You've done this many, many times. The problem comes with this terrain. You haven't had time to kind of scout it or figure out like
Hmm.
the exact, you know, does moss grow differently here on trees? Who knows? Um, upon a little bit, it is only because you're using a tricorder to kind of narrow it out location that you are not completely lost, but you have kind of gotten a little turned around, and what maybe should have taken only about a half hour to catch up, you've probably added about 10 minutes of time.
Hmm. Um, I'll just look around and say, this terrain is unfamiliar to me. I'm not how do you want to proceed, Commander?
We should let's do another scan and see if we can get a better location read.
You detect with the scan, but there's something in the midst of the scan that shows up. Energy discharge.
Someone's firing a weapon.
Cool. Someone is in a
All right,
battle
all
or
right.
something.
Let's pick. All right. So, can I use the tricorder to hone in on that energy discharge?
Yes, you can actually, and keep in mind, uh, this is going to be. Man, we're just starting off with all kinds of rolls tonight. I'm okay with this. That is going to be a. We're going to say a reason and science check with a difficulty of 2. However, you are using a tricorder, so the difficulty drops to 1.
One success.
Perfect, that's all you needed. Yes, most notably and alarmingly, it's not phaser fire. This
Oh,
is this is disruptor fire.
It's right
worse.
Yes. Most
Actually,
notably, the one thing that you know about disruptors is disruptors do not have a stun function.
That's
Ensign
helpful.
Loris, get ready to patch someone up.
Yep, I'm on it.
Okay. With that, the rest of you kind of begin to make haste and head that direction. However, as you head that direction, behind the dark side of the moon and in orbit, there is a vessel that is remaining at somewhat minimal power to avoid as much detection as possible.
I'm sorry. Could you repeat that real quick?
Yes, there are two vessels. The Hypatia and the Judicator are both kind of nearby, but currently not quite aware of each other.
Hmm.
Jalaran will have already given the order for the Hypatia to go dark.
Mm-hmm. The ensign has, and all these different people at different stations have already kind of got. Speaking, guys, it's hard. Have gotten to the state of minimal power, and they kind of turn to you. All right. What now, Commander?
Let's split up our stations here. I want tactical. Get me some scans on our lovely companion out there, and she gestures towards the Sovereign. Everyone else, I want scans of the outpost on the moon and send them to Dr. Atherton.
The scans begin happening, and eventually you get the results you're wanting for the most part. Kind of one of the things that maybe is something that you didn't want to see come back for the Sovereign is it is armed with pulsed phaser cannons, which kind of goes in line with stuff you've seen before. It also has a blade of hull.
Something we don't have.
Yeah, the facility down below is currently not occupied. There's still life support systems, but currently there is, from what you can assess, probably just automated, functions.
For the outpost, any signs of recent evacuation?
No, not really.
So it appears to have been abandoned some time ago.
Probably.
As for our friend out there, any signs that we've been noticed yet?
It's hard to say. The answer to that question is yes, Commander. We are being hailed.
All right. On screen.
Okay. The bridge of this Sovereign is a little different, as there is no there's no secondary and tertiary chair on either side. It's just a singular command chair. The inner hull is kind of this dark gray and lit with kind of this blue, dark neon blue type of coloring to it. Very distinct are the black badges and the pips that you typically would see for this group, as opposed to yours, which are gold. They have theirs in silver. The captain here, given by the pips that you can see, is he looks fairly relaxed, actually, as an individual. If this captain were to be cast by someone, I would say the best fit for this individual would probably be Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Yes. Good.
One day you'll pick someone I know.
Today is not this day, but the day is also still young.
True.
However, kind of leans forward a bit and squints his eyes. USS Hypatia. Like the name.
Thank you.
Very powerful in its meaning.
Jalorn is equally relaxed, and she's not showing any signs outwardly of any concern whatsoever.
Commander, I have not a direct idea of where you are hiding your ship, so I imagine you are not new or green to this. However, I do believe it is in our best interests to be cooperative with each other.
I imagine something along those lines can be accomplished until our directives converge.
So what's the plan here, Commander? Are you just gonna hide away and hope our scanners can't find you at some point, or are you just going to make this distinctly less complicated for me and mine?
We are currently in the best position in order to make scans of the outpost that we both know is out here.
Yeah, medical facility. That's particular concern. We were notified about a project being stolen from there.
As were we. We're trying to ascertain the status of the outpost.
Well, with that being the case, then, I suppose perhaps a joint effort? Good faith.
Sounds agreeable for the moment.
I'll send my number one. They have a logical approach to things.
Good to hear. We could use a pair of logical eyes.
Well, I don't mean to put any sort of claim or accusation, Commander, but doesn't it feel interesting, these view screens, you and I looking at each other? Doesn't it feel like big cats behind a wall?
A little bit.
I don't need to remind you, Commander, that we're both just doing our jobs.
No, you do not.
Pick whoever you think is fit. I'll have my number one meet you at the facility. Seeing as we both want answers there.
Let's say in about 30 minutes.
Seems agreeable.
May I have the name of your number one so we know who to look for?
Lieutenant Commander Brescia.
Thank you. 30 minutes, Captain.
I'll hold you to that. And the screen cuts out, and the ensign kind of... There's palpable beads of sweat on her brow. What just happened, Commander? I positioned us very well out of range. I thought I did.
You did an excellent job, Ensign. But this is Section 31 we're dealing with. They have some toys that we don't.
Oh, great. Anyone in particular that you have in mind to go down below? If that's even your intention?
I'm going to give this a few minutes thought, and then I'm going to call them to the ready room. And then she sits back and she starts perusing the roster. And
Okay.
she starts ticking off a few different names and sending messages.
All right.
Among them, Lieutenant Commander Lee.
Mm-hmm.
She's definitely going to grab her. And Lieutenant Sarah Eve. 2 names.
Lieutenant Commander Lee is actually not aboard the Hypatia. She is back behind the safe house because someone has to be at least in charge of that area while you are absent.
Okay.
But Larissa Eve is in fact aboard.
I imagine Lieutenant Han is on board too.
Yes.
Okay, she's going to pull those 2. And then retreat to her ready room.
Okay. For the others aboard this vessel, is there anything that you wish to accomplish in this time?
That would be Kavai. What are you up to in the science room?
Could I dig into our Bajoran friends past a little bit more? I think I want to try and break into those files. She can't resist.
Yeah, and Jolene would have also had you continuing to pursue those conspiracy theories and anything that jumps out,
Absolutely.
Weird medical happenings going on surface planet side.
I definitely want to find any missing missing people cases that are were unresolved.
And 3 different threads juggling in there.
Yep. It connects somehow. We'll figure it out.
Okay. As far as the kind of scanning through the planet side stuff, you have all of the FM and AM radio playing basically. So you can get news feeds and stuff like that. And there are a few missing persons cases. Typically people who are going outside of town or city borders for a trip or something, and then they just disappear in the in-between of those 2 places and just are never heard from again.
Can I, knowing roughly where our players are located, can I find the ones that fit that area specifically?
Yeah, actually, you can. There's planet side. There's a few, just given various locations and different towns, different cities have different, experiences. But given this area, there's only really one, and it feels like it was meant to be the equivalent of what we would call a family vacation, and it was not a small family that managed to just kind of vanish. It was like a family of 8.
Oh, that is significant.
A significant amount, and
Is that a large family for these peoples? What's their structure like?
the
I'm curious.
average is about 4.
Okay. So this is very unusual.
It's very unusual, and particularly a group that large, specifically their vehicles for land travel and stuff, that was never found either.
Oh. Okay. Suspicious.
However,
Alright. I'll definitely dig into that one more.
okay. It kind of has turned into the government thing of, this is now a classified, investigation, despite many public protests about it, because people do that, because, nope, this investigation's classified now, and for some reason they get confused why people get upset about that. As you kind of dig further into this, most notably, it was a younger family. No medical issues to speak of any kind.
Well, that's probably ideal if you want to test on a healthy subject.
And then the vehicle itself was never found. It's almost the way a lot of investigators describe it on this planet is it's like the vehicle just disappeared into thin air.
Okay. Is there anything I can do to, like, do we know where their base is? The facility? Do we have that?
Yes, it is on the dark side of the moon where the Hypatia is currently stationed at, actually.
Well, Jaloran also has the theory that there's a planet-side facility to kind of coordinate with the moon. And it's like, yeah, it's one thing to do things from the dark side of the moon, but you need people down there too, to collect samples on site and analyze them right there.
Abducting a whole vehicle and family feels unlikely to me. Going to the moon, but they probably have them somewhere planet side. That's what I am.
Yeah, that's.
I agree.
Yeah, that's the working theory Jaloran has is like somewhere hidden somewhere there's a planet side facility. We just need to find it.
Mm-hmm.
Can I go through all of the most likely victims of this disappearing and get all of their locations and...
Are you gonna try and triangulate based upon
Yes.
everything? Okay.
Thank you for picking what I was putting down.
Most notably, highly populated towns seem to be targeted, not cities. Highly populated towns.
Okay.
People of respectable health or minimal health issues. And everything seems to be within 13 miles of each other.
Okay, well, that's not random. Yeah, I think I'll give this information to my superiors once I figure that out.
Okay. And you're digging in a little bit to private owner's personal file a little bit, the file that
yes,
is
very
a little
much
bit locked.
Yeah, I want to break that lock.
Okay. That is going to be...
What is it with Kavai and locks that she has to force through?
It's just more fun.
It's more rewarding when you have.
I wasn't expecting her to be like that, but
the song "Breaking the Law." This is her breaking the locks, breaking the locks, breaking the locks, breaking the locks.
I think this is going to be reason science here, because this is more of a computer-based thing, and it's not an engineering-based thing. So it's reason science, and this is going to be, because it is a locked file, it is going to be a difficulty of 3. Keep in mind you do have yeah, I'm going to keep the momentum, even though it's changed its scene.
Part of me wants to be a gremlin.
So... I'm so sorry, I'm still learning. I roll... How many dice do I have?
You have 2 d20s naturally that you will roll,
Okay.
and you just have to get below the added value, which for you is
I've got 15?
15. So 15 or
Each
lower.
one each dice is below the value,
Okay.
not combined.
Speaking of values, would any of my... talents help me with this? Or my values? Either or.
Talents or focuses?
Yeah, I would say.
Well, I have a focus that would probably help for sure.
Oh yeah, I think that focus applies here.
Yeah.
And this is for my edification as well, because it's been a long time since I've played this the system. But having a focus having a relevant focus to a task makes the crit range your
It makes the crit rate. Yes, your disciplines. So.
Okay.
So
Cool.
if, like, say Kavai rolls, a 4 or lower, any of those will be a crit then.
Gotcha.
Ooh. Okay.
Just making sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, well, I've only got 2 dice. I would have to roll a crit to succeed, right? Because you said it was 3.
You can
Difficulty of
spend a
3, and you can spend a momentum to buy 1 extra die.
Okay, I will do that if everyone is okay with it.
Go for it.
Okay.
I'm good.
Yep, sounds good.
I even have 3 right here I can roll. Oh, I got a 10, a 9, and an 8, so I think we're good there.
Okay. You... I want this to be understood, Kavai. This is a locked file that had, like, Rear Admiral level clearance locked behind it.
I think she doesn't even... Like, it's compulsive. Like, she doesn't realize that she's even not supposed to do it. It's just like...
She just does
well,
it.
I needed this, so I needed it.
I needed it, and so henceforth it is now mine.
Yep.
Consequences be damned.
Yep.
Until they smack me in the face.
Exactly.
That happens.
Let's see here. Flip this page. Oh, this is interesting. What do I get?
It's a lot. Not only is this... She, for being such a young Starfleet Marine, her file
Starfleet.
is a ridiculously long dossier, actually. She is clearly everything her Starfleet Marine file. She is that. There's no question about that. However, she has also taken... She is a self-taught computer analytics professional. She is aware and studied very intently the Dominion War, and very particularly the method in which to kind of force the changeling's hand to kind of surrender. All of those things she is very adept in. She is very aware of how medical procedures work, and also what is considered a humane approach and what is not.
Oh.
I think I quirk a brow at that, and I'm just like, oh, well, aren't you up to some shit? Alright. Flip through a couple more pages.
It continues. The service record is... She originally at one point held the rank of a corporal, but that has been since scrubbed from the public file, as she committed a small mutiny, is the best way to describe it.
Who was with her on that?
Her previous Starfleet Marine group, as well as working in tandem with a Starfleet operative. For everyone else, only Jaloran has really interacted with this individual thus far, but at the time, the individual running this operation was Lieutenant Commander Vincent Tyler, who, as we already know, is played by Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Oh shit.
Well,
Now I get why he's being played by Jeffrey D. Morgan.
And
What was
Kabaya,
that
the
name?
more you dig, the more you'll find.
Okay.
The name again?
At the time, though rank has changed since then, it was the operation was led by a Lieutenant Commander Vincent Tyler.
Human, right?
Yep.
And okay. Where were they last stationed, and could they be anywhere around?
When you try to look for a lieutenant, or just a lieutenant commander, or any service record of a Lieutenant Commander Vincent Tyler, you find nothing. There is no record. There is nothing to indicate that that person has ever existed.
Even though they're mentioned over here. Well, that's not suspicious at all. Huh.
You doing digging will find that. I mean, there's clearly like a service record stuff, but just like the standard run-of-the-mill stuff, which doesn't line up with what you're seeing here.
Interesting. What were you two getting up to? Can I find any of our... How hard would it be to find someone's, like, personal records? Like, their... any of that information?
Could I be looking for the birth certificate? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. They're pretty thorough about that. Fairly difficult.
Okay.
It's
Probably something it's easier to get from home.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Well, I know what to look for when we get back, but... So we know she stole files relating to the war. I so desperately want to know why.
Well,
Can I...
Hmm?
Can I dig further into, like, that mutiny?
yes.
Like...
That mutiny, by the classified file, because I'm gonna say that we're still riding the high of you breaking into a rear admiral's lock code. The incident described here is known as the Tri-Moon incident. Star system which included a investigation in one of the areas of the Delphic Expanse. Not a nice place. But there was a desperate need for medical supplies of the Federation vessel that was operating within that time. Smaller vessel, Constellation class, so seeing the end of its time. With the desperate need for medical supplies, there was a local medical ship that was willing to offer trade with the medical supply. However, the medical supply trade would require a sacrifice of one of their. It would require a lot of deuterium.
Am I familiar with that?
Deuterium is what helps ships use warp drive.
Okay.
The facts that you can see and are stated here. The commander of this Constellation class wanted to effectively, out of somewhat desperation, as there was sort of an infection going around the ship, and the medical supplies were very desperate, wanted to kind of do things a little bit more forcefully. Private owner was not willing to.
What was the infection?
The infection was very similar to something that was encountered in the Delta Quadrant, though a little less harmful. It operated a lot like the phage in many aspects. The phage is a Delta Quadrant virus that kind of just wrecks the body, like from start to finish, to where you kind of have to just like recycle yourself. Private was not willing to do that, and there was, from what you can gather, even though the logs tell different stories and very skewed stories, it does sound like there might have been a phaser fight on the bridge.
Ooh, juicy. Okay. Now how does this relate to what we're doing now? Well, they're definitely testing on people. It could relate back to this. That's my theory. But I'm not a medical person. So I'm just going to patch those findings, not including where I got that information from, but I'm going to give that over to our doctor. Be like, hey, maybe look into these points, please.
So most notably, it won't be the ensign. It will be the actual doctor aboard this ship.
Lieutenant Eve.
Yep.
Ouch.
Mira is currently planet side.
I know, but just an actual doctor near somewhere on that distant planet, like, I hear the burn, I feel the burn.
Why are my
Yeah.
ears burning?
Yeah, we need a real
Why is
doctor,
my heart
actually.
aching?
You are not technically licensed as a medical doctor quite yet. You are close, but you're not there yet.
You're
That's probably
fucking
fine.
licensed doctor. Underground motherfucker. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. But yeah, you'll get a interested like ping of response, and she'll look into it. Notably
Much
for
obliged.
you, Commander Jaloran, your 30 minutes are up.
At any point, did Kavai think to send the rest of that information to Jaloran?
Yeah, eventually.
Within that 30 minutes?
For sure.
Okay.
Okay.
She had to finish listening to whatever, like, top 20 hits or whatever that was playing first. And then she sent it over. Any new media she's in on.
But it's like, as long as it got to her within the time frame and she's got a few minutes to review it.
Yep.
Okay. So, and she's in the ready room with Lieutenant Han and Lieutenant Eve. She's giving them the rundown. They're going to be meeting with Lieutenant Commander Barsha.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to notice that ping from Kavai. Will she have also noticed that Lieutenant Eve also got a ping?
Oh yeah, because it'll happen relatively around the same time.
Right. And so she'll quirk an eyebrow at Lieutenant Eve and is like, make sure you look into this. Like, if there's any evidence in the outpost that might connect to this sort of information, collect what you can.
Discreetly, Commander, or
Yes, very discreetly, as best as you can.
oh, you know, I'm. I can be discreet and also distracting. It works.
Trust your best instincts, Lieutenant. Lieutenant Han, I want you to get a good scope of both the outpost and the Lieutenant Commander. A full assessment of both would be great. Let's see what... I want your assessment of what we're dealing with, as far as the command structure, as well as any signs of... I'd like at least an estimate of how long that outpost has been abandoned, and if there were any signs of a struggle, sudden abandonment, the basic rundown along those lines for anything suspicious.
I will take note of those.
Thank you. Make sure you're both armed appropriately. Leave nothing to chance.
Well, kind of taps at the holster, which the Hypatia and the Solar Atlantic Field Office is granted a different type of Type 2 phaser. They do not have the classical ones from First Contact or Star Trek Voyager. They have the much newer models and updated from the Star Trek Picard. So,
As an aside, would the Hypatia also happen to have a set of portable transponders for quick transport?
yes. What some of the preparations have lacked for in terms of weapon prep, there has been a lot of emphasis on the other stuff.
Lieutenant Han, she's going to instruct to take... she's going to have both Lieutenant Han and Lieutenant Eve take one each, but she's going to have Lieutenant Han take an extra. And she's going to let him know that, like, if he deems it necessary, send the Lieutenant Commander back to his own ship.
Understandable.
Any questions from either of you?
No, Commander. Just thinking that this was not how I thought the first couple of days of the field office was going to go.
I feel the same, Lieutenant. Reconnaissance first, but keep your eyes open.
Yes, sir.
So she sends them off to the transporter room.
Mm-hmm.
GM, question.
Yes.
In her file, is it possible to figure out if our Bajoran friend follows the prophets or not?
It is very quick to determine that she follows the prophets because there is a particular item of importance that she wears that kind of signifies that.
And it shows
Okay.
up in her profile picture.
Yes.
Can I, based on her actions being not so great, can I cross-reference any of their teachings to what she's doing wrong just to have that in my back pocket?
Yeah. One of the most notable things is a sense of like having a bit of understanding and tolerance, and she doesn't seem to possess any of those qualities from what you're reading and seeing.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Thank you.
Right.
So then Jaloran's going to peruse what Kavai sent her, and she's going to quirk an eyebrow real quick at Lieutenant Commander Tyler, and she's just going to muse aloud. I was like, wow. Seems Lieutenant Commander has received a promotion recently.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if he requested this assignment or if it was given.
With that being said, and that to ponder, down planet side, I imagine at this point, upon knowing that there is phaser fire, there is like a jog or a sprint happening here.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Upon reaching it, you find your Jordan Private escaping and running off after having thrown something, and it is like a flash of white going off as she kind of rounds a corner of like a tree and runs into all of you, and there is immediately she seems to have just dual wielded a type 2 phaser and probably what looks to be a Nausicaan disruptor, both like pointed at various people.
I put one hand up. It's okay. We're here to get you out here.
Yeah, and that's what other people said. You're gonna be more convincing than that.
My name is Lieutenant Commander Tate Mahone. I went to Hypatia.
I
We're
don't know what that is.
we're here to get you home, Private. We're here to save you.
Fine.
Also,
Okay.
we're not currently shooting at you. More than I
Yeah.
can say for somebody else.
Good point. Great observation. Lead me back to where you're going. We'll run. You'll run in front of me.
All right. Let's move. Alex, stay with her.
You don't have to stay level with me. I can keep up.
All
That's
due
not
respect,
for
that wasn't for you.
There
Um,
is...
Well, they are on a go, so we'll kind of have to wait with patching her up if anything. She does kind of assess the situation with her for now. Anything visible?
Aside from stress and from scrapes from probably like brushing legs against rocks and trees and stuff like that, and maybe bruising, and maybe like a broken rib, maybe. She seems somewhat okay. The only thing that she looks like is she looks very tired, and she looks like she's been doing this for probably a couple days now, like with very little rest.
Okay, so exhaustion, and probably haven't had anything like sustainable to
Probably not.
consume.
Probably
Yeah.
not, no.
So Mirror just takes note of that, and she kind of gives her a kind of actually caring look, like, all right, you sure you can get to the safe place with us, right? You still have strength for that.
Well, if I don't, there's 4 of you here.
Hey, I mean, she kind of points at her, points at. I'm sorry. Points at Alec, and she's like, "We can change. Toss you around if anything. If you need, if you're like stop working, So just you can rely on us. Don't worry."
I will believe it when I see it.
fair enough.
I mean-
Let's go.
Alright.
I flash her a grin and I just say, if nothing else, if you collapse and I have to carry you, you'll make great cover.
She doesn't respond to that. She does pick up the pace.
Mira looks at Mira just gives just a look like, are you just like serious right now?
I think
Just give her a wink.
Tate gives you a Kadan long-suffering sigh. Like, that's Kadan doing that sigh.
Yeah. And you get a look that, like, you 100% know means, hey, it worked.
Yeah, it did. And, that's why you get the sigh.
Yeah.
Because I hated that it worked, but it did work.
Yeah. You make it to the Type 11, and the people that were behind that probably got hit by a flash grenade have not given up as they are, as you kind of jump and start starting up the vessel, they are in fact firing disruptor blasts at the ship.
As everybody rushes inside, can I sort of take the other security officer and basically just start like laying down, kind of like suppressing fire, at least giving us time to like try to give us time to take off?
Are you going for hits, or are you just kind of going?
No, I'm going for keep your heads down, please.
Okay, yeah, that
I'm shooting at them politely.
politely. Okay.
Hey, they're warning shots. That's fair.
Yeah,
If you would like to keep your fingers in your ears, keep your head down, please.
exactly. It's a courtesy shot.
Courtesy shot. That's what we're calling these from now on.
Oh, absolutely.
Please keep your arms and hands and toes and fingers all inside the vehicle, please.
Yep, as you
Please
can
keep
hear
your
the
fingers-
rumble of the Type 11 begin to kind of charge up again, and the security officer's just like, I think that did it. And we'll kind of
Yeah,
like slightly
get inside.
do that like long stride hop like into the door.
Yeah, I sort of like maintain, sort of like give them cover to get inside, and then I will also like sort of a fast backwards walk inside.
Mm-hmm. As the 11 takes off, where are you all headed? Just back to the Hypatia at this stage?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I don't have any other orders or anything like else to tell me anything else to do. So I will be. I'll try to stay out of range, like take away where the Judicator doesn't see me, but see us.
Okay.
But
And
Also,
yeah.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
Also, while they are on the ride, Mira is just kind of like, all right, hands up. We are checking you up.
This feels more welcoming than rocks and resting in between rotted wood, so, I will allow this.
Yeah. Don't worry. For now, I'm just gonna see how you're doing, fix anything that just in desperate need of fixing, and when we're up there, I'm gonna leave you alone with like a lot of,
Great.
with like a whole bunch of it.
I am filled with confidence.
Good, good for you. And she kind of she kind of pats her head, like just like in up and down motion. Meant to not, the motion when you're not trying to mess up someone's hairdo.
Yeah, I get that. There is like a slight recoil of kind of like, what the fuck are you doing?
She is a bit awkward still with how the caring for people works. So this is her trying to calm her down a little bit, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You need me to make a roll to get through the storm again?
No, you know how to get to through the storm. There's a different problem to approach this time.
I have, and this is a question. This is a relevant question, because I'm trying to remember, but I might have made this up. Did you say something about communications being disrupted by the cloud?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
So what's my problem? I have to avoid a Judicator?
Yep.
Alright, let's do it. I'm ready.
Okay, is there before you attempt that? Is there a way that I can try to just sort of rig something to try to break through? Like, because I think any advantage we can get at this point would be super helpful, including communication with the Hypatia. And so, if there's any way that I can try to rig something up to punch through that interference, I would like to try.
Yeah, I would say this is going to be a... So this is going to be probably a control engineering, because this is kind of an engineering thing. And it's going to be a
Okay.
difficulty of 2 here, because...
You said control engineering?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. Then, how much momentum do we have?
I think we have like 1 or none.
You have none at
Okay.
this point. Because
None,
there
yeah.
isn't
Then can I use my Spirit of Discovery talent and burn a determination to get some momentum?
Yes.
I think that's the right one. Okay.
Yes, you can.
All right, great. And do I still need? I think I still need a value for this, right?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. So I think the value that I'm going to try to work with here is okay. I have a couple that might be useful, but I'm thinking that whatever I am doing here is probably not, strictly speaking, Starfleet regulation.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go with some rules were made to be broken. Does that work?
I think so, mainly
Okay.
because this is a functioning, brand new Type 11 shuttle. You are probably going to have to jerry-rig and probably have to toss out and break some parts to make this work.
Fair. Okay. Then yeah, that's
Gotta
what I'm
avoid
gonna
that
do.
warranty.
Just right out the gate.
I thought we
Cool.
still had 1 momentum left, or was there a scene change?
There was a scene change.
The scene changed to us going on the planet.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Then I would like to immediately spend some of that momentum to get another D20.
Okay.
On here, and let me grab that. So, yeah. All right. And you said I need 2 successes?
Yes.
That's fun. I do have a focus in subspace communications, so
That will apply here, yeah.
cool. All right, here we go. Okay, well, do I have to roll below it, or does at the number count?
At will count as well.
Okay, then that's exactly 2 successes.
Okay.
And yeah, exactly 2 successes. No crits, just 1.
So you're just going to communicate with the Hypatia at this point?
Yeah, I'll open communications to the Hypatia, and I'll just say, "Away team to Hypatia."
Yep. Jaloran, you are notified immediately. The ensign has the comms up already.
What do you have for me, Lieutenant?
We have our missing private in our care, and we are attempting to make our way off the surface of the planet back to the Hypatia. We are kind of flying blind here, Commander.
There is a very large black sovereign in front of you. Avoid it at all costs if you can. Otherwise, get back here safely, and in one piece, preferably.
Will do, Commander. I got this.
Yeah. Tate's got this.
I'll see you both. I'll see a lot of you soon.
All right. Away team out.
All right.
You definitely notice Tate is a lot more confident behind a piloting console.
Yeah. So for you, this is very important here, because this is going to be... Good. This is going to be a control, and no, nope, I take that back. This is going to be a daring and con roll.
Ooh,
Um,
you're not giving me my superpower. Okay, you're trying to make this hard. Okay, I see how it is.
that's fine.
He's
Better
trying
yet.
to be difficult.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get there. Difficulty 4.
Difficulty 4. Oh shit.
That
There
sound
is-
one is a wee bit of a difficult.
Do we have any more momentum from?
We do.
your
There's
thing?
2 more. There's 2 more left after the one that I used.
I would like to use one of those to get a third die, please.
Absolutely.
And I will also. Yeah, let's do it. I'm gonna spend another 3 points of threat.
Mm.
Okay. Let's see here. 1 sec. Let me roll. I got a 2, a 4, and a 7, so that is 5 successes.
Holy shit!
Oh,
I am a good
incredible.
pilot. I'm a
Oh,
good pilot.
oh man, you are just threading the needle here with this, though.
We are establishing that Tate is a good pilot.
I think that I think
gives us
my
some
reaction.
momentum back.
I think my reaction is maybe like an in-character reaction where like Alec is just like when we break through the cloud, he just like grabs Tate's shoulder and just shakes him like yes.
There is.
We're not there yet. Calm down.
I know it's just very impressive. Keep
Which
going.
is
Don't pay
immediately-
attention.
Mira kind of looking at both of them like, I would really like you to not express such, like you didn't trust him to burn us out of it.
Them, please. They, them.
I'm sorry. Them.
No, them I trusted. Kadan, different story. Let's move on.
Um, the. However,
It was one time, Alec. Get over it.
there was, as
Ooh,
you were
history.
maneuvering through and getting to the end, a Type 11 shuttle is massive, but it is dwarfed by the size of a Sovereign class, especially one as menacing looking as this one. And Lieutenant Commander Hone, your shuttle is being hailed.
Oh. Okay. I answered a hail.
Same captain that Jaloran's been dealing with.
Hello.
Commander, I'm going to say this once, and we can do this in a much more cordial fashion, or we cannot. I would prefer to do this all on neutral ground with everyone involved. I will not make any moves, but stand down your shuttle.
Tate's orders are to get that shuttle back to the Hypatia.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for the reminder. I'm afraid I can't do that. I have my orders.
I understand and respect those orders. And you know I have mine. So you know I have to try and stop you.
Good luck. And I turn it off.
So ballsy.
Damn. Now it's actually now there's like there's
There
tension. Like
is-
you're looking at them. It's just it's fine, right? They're not gonna
You feel
shoot
a
us.
propelled shake and almost like you almost have to barrel roll to adjust to it as a one shot goes right over the starboard bow. Clearly not intentionally hitting you, but it does scrape the shields, and it's a warning shot. That's like probably the only warning shot you're gonna get.
Let's
They're
get to.
actually shooting at us. The actual damn it.
Ensign, secure your patient and yourself while you're at it. This is gonna get rough.
This is gonna be fun.
Aboard the Hypatia, the ensign. Commander, weapons fire.
I would like to while I'm flying. I would like to hail the Hypatia.
Yep.
Hey, Commander. This dude is trying to kill us.
How professional.
Valid.
You can hear in the background Mira going, "What?"
I'm saving the professionalism for when I'm not flying away from death. I'm out flying death right now. Give me a break.
Commander,
To
how do
be
you want to proceed?
expected, Commander. Remember your orders. Get back to the Hypatia in one piece.
Understood. We'll get back.
Okay. Commander, the Judicator is breaking orbit.
I believe it is time for us to break cover, Ensign. Let's go meet our shuttle.
I have an idea, Commander, but I hope you don't mind if a paint gets scratched.
I'm all ears.
You know about James Kirk's reverse warp maneuver. I'm suggesting we do that at full impulse.
I like it, Ensign.
Alright, we were gonna try this. I was literally just spitballing and didn't really think that was gonna... Yep, we're doing this. Okay.
Jalorn is just as much of a gremlin as her crew.
Going back and you feel the like full power and the ship roaring to life, and reversing course because Lieutenant Commander Hone, you are not privy to this plan as the Hypatia is coming out from the dark side, like going in reverse at full impulse, and full impulse is pretty damn fast, and you are going about 1/3 impulse. And it's
I'll
just
speed up if I have
rapidly,
to.
rapidly approaching. So it's like one of those things where if you you're just approaching a wall faster and faster and faster.
Oh, I'm gonna have to do a Stucky, aren't I?
Probably.
Oh my god. Literally, Alex's reaction to this is just, oh, they aren't.
And you actually see Tate get this feral grin, oh yes, let's do
I was
this.
gonna say, it's more than likely Tate, being the pilot that they are, will deduce exactly what's going on very quickly.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. It would be Commander, this is gonna be so much fun.
And she's gonna make sure that
security
shuttle bay door
officer
is open for them.
Yeah, and the security officer and the private owner are both wide-eyed, just no, 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 no.
Fasten your seatbelts.
We don't have these here.
I do.
Literally just the person they saved and were holding for dear life,
Well, the Type 11 has strap-ins.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's
I think
just
it's
onto
crash,
those
it's
strap-ins
crash
and
webbing,
stuff.
basically,
Yeah.
is what it is.
they
Still shaking and quaking, so
Yeah.
Once the
Strap down, crew.
the landing it is a quick entrance, and you do kind of the sparks you can hear and kind of see them even flying as this ship, and you have to almost do thrusters to reverse to not slam into deck 4 as you do hit the corner with the shuttle, and it a fair bit of paneling kind of gets crunched up and off to the side as you'll lurch forward a little bit as the vessel has come to a stop, and up above the bridge they're on board, Commander.
Close the bay doors, make sure everything is not on fire. Get a crew down there to check on our passengers. And do we have a hail from the Judicator?
Yes, we do.
Bring us around. Open comms.
I'll just say that, when as soon as we skid to a halt, and everybody there's a beat, and Alec just sort of turns to the Bajorian and just go, "Welcome aboard the Hypatia, Private."
Tate just fist pumps to the air. Goes, yes.
She
Okay,
doesn't
I
say
will
this
not-
to anyone particular, but she just says it kind of softly out loud. I've been rescued by insane people.
Mirror You're
It's not
pointing at him.
that.
Yes, correct.
Gremlin.
My mother had me tested. I'm fine.
The worst thing about that is I'm certain that's not a joke.
It's definitely not.
Mirror kind of turning test you again.
Jordan's been cured of hers, so I'm pretty sure there's not a relapse.
So she kind of you do know test improved since then. I'm pretty sure. Don't find out wrongly.
Perfect. Can we get off of the tin can that slides into a shuttle bay at 1/3 impulse?
Sure
I would have
thing.
done it at half the impulse, but you guys would have lost your bikes.
This is not comforting.
Tate is just having too much fun. This was so much fun for them.
Mirror has calmed down and now she's
Alright.
right, but
Tate's composing
it was kind of
himself.
scary.
Tate's composing himself now. I'm like, okay, I'm a commander. I'm a lieutenant commander. Calm down.
Alright, so where all of you headed? I mean, I'm guessing Ensign Lawrence, you're probably headed to sickbay with the private, but the others, are you headed to bridge?
I'm heading to the bridge. I'm the
Yeah.
so I have to go there.
And I'm holding
Can
her.
In case they need an insane pilot.
I will say, I think I do make it a special point to, like, if she put down that disruptor at any point, I am definitely confiscating that.
Oh, she did. Like,
Okay.
Oh yeah.
mainly because she couldn't hold on
immediately.
to it.
Yeah, no, I'm confiscating that, like, immediately.
Yeah, that's very good because like Mira was kind of questioning that for a second there.
Mhm.
Really doesn't want to be hit on her first day of job.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just one of those things where, like, I'll confiscate it, and if she gives me like any weird look about it, I'm just gonna say, sorry, rules are rules, and
Any
Can-
other weapons the private might have on her will be stripped off of her in sickbay too.
yeah,
Intelligence ship.
But as the rest of you head to the bridge to answer this hail from the Judicator, we are a little past our break time, so we are going to do that very briefly. I will say 10 minutes, but let's be real, that doesn't always happen. Because we just do that. But we'll be back soon. Welcome back. Okay, so I did it. We did it. About 10-ish minutes.
oh wow, we did.
That's the only time this is
Yeah.
happening. I guarantee you it will not be like that because
We get one.
we get to be responsible early on. We need to make a good first impression so we can disappoint you later. So, no, but upon coming back and bringing it all back into focus, the away team has returned, performing a ridiculous piloting maneuver that is, that should maybe be labeled "Don't try this at home, kids."
It was only half my fault.
Yeah, that's fair. But given that being the case here, you have a hail on the bridge, and so Commander Jaloran, Lieutenant Commander Tate Mahone, and Lieutenant Caraballo, you are all on the bridge as this hail is answered, as Captain Tyler still presents himself very patiently.
Jaloran is the same. She is completely unruffled, relaxed in the center chair.
Tate is more composed now that they're not piloting.
Captain Tyler, it's good to see you again.
Impressive display of piloting.
Kate smiles just very slightly.
We do our best to impress.
Well, then perhaps we can get to a much more... Perhaps you can be impressive again, and we can discuss this together without me having to take any sort of absurd measures.
I believe our interests converge a little bit, but also they combine in a similar path. Are you open to coming to the Hypatia?
Well, seeing as you have an away team down below the medical facility, I suppose it would be irresponsible of me not to take you up on your offer.
See you in our transporter room in 10 minutes?
I'll be there in 5.
Agreed. And she just signals to the ensign to cut the transmission.
Something really stupid's gonna happen, Commander. I feel it.
Permission to speak freely?
Granted, Lieutenant.
I hate that guy.
I agree with you, Lieutenant.
I love you.
Oh my god.
What's the play here, Commander?
We have more cards in our hands than our dear captain realizes, thanks to a certain plucky petty officer.
But can I find out?
Lieutenant Caraballo, would you please report to the transporter room and act as guide to our dear captain to the conference room?
Sure, but if he asks me to take his coat, I'm going to refuse. And I'll excuse myself and make my way down to the transporter room.
Okay.
Lieutenant Commander, while we've got a couple of minutes, am I ready?
Yes, Commander.
So they head in there, and she just pulls out the pad for Tate to review real quick.
All right. It has all the stuff that we already talked about.
Yep. It's
Yep.
a lot.
All right. Yeah. Wow, this is a lot.
And she takes a moment to point out, this particular lieutenant commander look familiar?
Oh, yes, he does.
Part of our cards. We know who he is.
Yeah.
But also, that makes him dangerous. So we tread carefully.
Yeah. If we spook him, he might try to blow us out of the sky.
Indeed. There's a reason he made it into Section 31.
Yeah.
But I think Kavai is onto something here. Both the private and the captain were involved in a mutiny that dealt with medical supplies. We're now involved in a situation that is medical in nature again. I'm willing to bet the dear captain requested this assignment.
Seems like a safe assumption.
There's a reason he wants to be here. There's a reason our private took that information.
There's something he doesn't want us to know.
Indeed. I want you to head down to sickbay and have a chat with our private separately. I'll meet with our dear captain.
Understood, sir.
Commander? I would like to ping you with the information I gathered about the Bajoran, their faith, and like anything that you could potentially like cross-reference. Like I just like I more or less I want to build you like a little how to guilt trip them cheat sheet.
Yeah, she forwards that on to Lieutenant Commander Hone. I think this may come in handy.
All right, I'll look it over and I'll go talk to our guest, and you talk to our other guest, apparently.
Let's try to reconvene in about 20 to 30.
Let's do that.
All right.
At your word, Commander.
Let's do this. And she gestures for the two of them to leave the ready room, and she heads towards the conference room.
I head towards sickbay.
I want it known that I arrive, and if I am able to do so, I arrive with not a full security team, but like half a security team.
Which is precisely what she wants him to do.
Yep. Yes.
Okay. He beams aboard just himself and kind of looks around the transporter room and gives it a look over, looks at the security team, looks at the room itself. This might be one of the smallest transporter rooms I have ever been in.
This motherfucker.
Thank you, Captain. We do our best to receive people in a room befitting their station. Welcome aboard the Hypatia. May I escort you to the conference room?
Well, might as well give me the full tour.
I'll take you to the conference room, and I proceed to escort him to the conference room.
Mm-hmm.
In the meantime, Joloran has set up the display screen with a particular star map. The Delphic Expanse.
Oh, you're starting on the psychological warfare early. Got it. With that, and kind of being guided through, because you have to go from deck 3 to 1 to get to the conference room, and you do notice he is taking note and like observing, maybe frowning a bit at like the interior of the Hypatia, which it's not an exploratory vessel. It's not impressive to look at inside. And you get the sense that he's marking down like every very plain feature about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, he's one of those guys.
Mm-hmm. As we're walking, I'll just say, initial thoughts, Captain?
It's a more lively ship than I was expecting. Certainly kind of moves his hands out, either side. Certainly more homely feeling.
Is that so?
Yep.
To be funny, when he says homely, can we just get like a shot of Kabai walking through the background with like a plate of food, don't know where she got it from, just going to town.
Yeah, that's fine. Kind of turns around.
Eating and walking.
And I respect that this ship has an air of professionalism about it.
Oh, it's our specialty, sir.
Not Mira in the background sneaking fucking or the private. Just like an entire tray of pancakes and shit, and Don't pay attention to me.
I will be honest with you. I did not know our replicators did that.
I
Me neither. I just kind of punched it, I think.
I love this show.
going through and guiding upwards as he kind of continues to do this really. He is definitely highlighting the cons of this vessel over the pros.
Hmm.
But you do eventually get to the bridge and the conference room as the enters and does see the Delphic Expanse, a star map.
As we walk in, I'll say, Commander Jaloran, our guest.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
Do
I
you want me
hope
to
it
stick
was a
around for this
comfortable
one?
trip. Say again?
Oh, I just said, you want me to stick around for this one?
Just outside, please.
Yes, sir. Captain.
I will need someone to lead me back to the transporter room when this is over, so I will appreciate your help.
Oh, I will gladly give it. Even though I'm sure it's not necessary. And I'll just, kind of like giving him that, like a nod of like, I saw you looking, kind of thing. And then I'll just go back outside.
So, Commander, we have similar objectives, I feel like.
I feel the same. Medical incident.
Yeah, they are. Medical facilities getting raided are alarming, especially when it comes to progressive research.
What's 31's interest in this?
Special favor. But if you must know, I don't exactly have the greatest track record when it comes to medical facilities and operations, because I'm sure instead of going through this dance that you and I are about to go through, how about I just tell you straight? Yeah, I made some pretty horrid mistakes when I was a little bit younger, and it cost me. But at the same time, it's a lesson learned. That being said, Project Caduceus is a very, very important piece of research, and to lose that is not great for the wider United Federation of Planets or Starfleet.
I wouldn't say a promotion to captain and transference to 31 would be a loss, Captain.
Depends on how you look at it. I'm very limited into how I make friends here. You have a bit more freedom than I do when it comes to that.
You know about Caduceus?
As I said, progressive medical research meant to eliminate any type of infectious disease or parasitic infiltration. Research like that. In the early days, when the Alpha Quadrant was barely explored, we had many incidents of viruses and infections. It was developed, I believe it was developed 2371, a medical research project that would be dedicated to currently unsolved and uncured infections and diseases. Project Caduceus was the spearhead for that.
Who greenlit the project?
That is currently classified.
Above either of our heads?
Correct.
So you probably wouldn't even know if it was medical, 31, or intelligence.
No, I do not.
And what are your feelings on about whether or not there was illegal experimenting going on?
Well, that would go against our code as a branch of Starfleet, wouldn't it?
It would. But
And my
31 doesn't
feelings on
exactly have
that
the
are
most.
clear.
31 doesn't exactly have the most stellar of reputations. So my concern is, what rules are you willing to bend in order to keep this going if there's something illegal happening?
Commander, you might know my file, but you do not know me, so let me be very clear with you.
It's why I asked the question, Captain.
And I intend to answer. I am not Agent Sloan. I am not willing to sacrifice my principles when it comes to the broader of Starfleet. I am aware what Section 31 is. So when it comes to medical research that is unsanctioned, I do not condone it.
And that's where we come into alignment. Are you willing to step with me if we find that there's something illegal going on?
I do not see how there is any other outcome, Commander.
Then who takes the lead on this?
Normally, under Starfleet regulation, the ship with tactical superiority and scientific superiority would, in fact, take the lead. However, I am aware of your record, Commander, and you are stubborn, to say the least, and I don't think the reins would be best served if I held on to them and you were a passenger.
Then I believe we're in agreement.
Your ship will take lead, mine will act as support, but do keep in mind, both of us will have to be very open with what we find.
First step? Let's do a more thorough reconnaissance on that medical outpost on the moon.
Hopefully my first officer and whoever you sent down there have found something of use.
And shall we convene to the bridge and find out?
Lead the way. I think it's a better impression if you step out first than me.
And with that, she swiftly moves through the doors.
Okay. You step
And takes her
out.
place at the center, like, kind of in the middle-ish, a little bit in front of the center seat. She's still standing.
Okay. Yep, Lieutenant Caraballo, Commander Jaloran exits. The captain exits very shortly after.
She gives a subtle nod to Lieutenant Caraballo to make sure that he knows to continue to keep an eye on a discreet eye on the captain.
Mm-hmm. I fall into step behind.
Well, isn't that a relief, Lieutenant? I don't need a tour guide yet.
Nobody's more relieved than me, sir.
And at this point, she's essentially going to give Commander Hone basically buy them some time to chat with the private.
Mm-hmm. Which, that is where Ensign Loris and Lieutenant Commander Tate Mahone are, as the private is being observed by the ship's chief medical officer as she's kind of doing. Private, hold still. This is a medical tricorder. This is not going to do anything to you. It's to help me help you.
What's the problem?
I'm fighting a war with a Bajoran rebel. That's what's happening, Commander.
Private? What's the problem?
I just need a little bit of space, that's all.
Okay. Everyone, give her some space. She's in the medical facility. She's not going to die on us.
I mean, she's fine. She just really needs a lot of sleep and not getting from the bed for a while. So apart from that, I got to everything that was a problem. So just a bit of rest, and if she eats everything I brought her, that's gonna be okay.
All right. So, Private, you've been busy.
Yeah. Yes, I have. A little, I'll admit, it was a little spontaneous.
Why did you do it?
Because the research that was being done was wrong.
What was the research?
Weaponized infection.
I see.
More specifically, though, weaponized infection of... How do I put it? Yes, there were tests being done from what I could glean on the individuals, but the medical research was much more adept into dietary intake, nutrition, things that were required in that aspect. Create a supply and demand, as it were.
Supply and demand of what?
Anything, Commander. Think of it this way: if you destroy if you take two farms and destroy one farm, there's only the one farm left.
Okay. Do you have the proof?
I do.
All right, we're going to need that.
Okay. On a singular condition.
What's your condition?
I show it to you directly. I do not hand it to you.
Where would you be showing me this?
I don't give a shit where I show it to. I can show it to you the hollow room, the astrometrics lab. It doesn't
All right.
matter.
Give us the room, everybody. I say to everyone in the room, including the ensign.
Alright.
Wait, I'm sorry, I kind of missed. Which
I said-
time?
I said, give us the room so that we can talk in private real quick.
Oh, understood.
We
don't
can just step
shake
into the
them.
office, Ensign. We don't have to leave the med facility.
I know, I'm just saying, don't shake her.
I won't. I won't touch her.
Cool, I'm just step away then.
Stepping in, she takes off the Bajoran earring, and the chain link that you see, actually, it's not a chain link like a typical Bajoran. It looks like isolinear wiring.
Clever.
Very clever.
She kind of pulls it apart and takes out, like, just a medical data chip and just rips it out of the wall. As you can kind of see in the background, like, the doctor, she's just going like, what the fuck?
I just hold my hand up.
Waste
As
of medical equipment.
She kind of adjusts it and sends it through, and you can see it on the medical screen, but there is... The research is definitely about, like... It's definitely species experimentation, but it's not particularly what you would have imagined it to be. It's... On the surface, it looks fairly humane. It's just tests, and they are being kept, locked up. And it seems fairly humane. They're being fed and all of that, but you can see, like, a read of, like, the crops and foods that they're being fed are from their home world, but have it had slight adjustments to it. And slight adjustments seem to bring adverse effects of different natures. More aggression, more lax behavior. It's operating off of what, and this is a thing, it's operating off of the theory of, depending on what foods you intake, you can actually affect the psyche and psychology and moods of people. This is, as ridiculous as this sentence is going to be to say out loud, this is weaponizing nutrition.
Yikes.
As if fast food companies haven't been doing that
I
for
was
years
literally
already.
just saying, looking at you, McDonald's.
Yeah.
Exactly, freaking some chipotle.
There goes
like,
that sponsorship.
Woo.
The evil,
Whoops, sorry.
The evil plan.
We curse too much for sponsorship.
Well, it depends on the
Ronald
sponsorship.
McDonald just taking over planet.
Yeah, but yeah, that seems to be the vast majority of what you're getting out of this.
Alright. I sent this to the commander.
Alright.
I sent this to the commander and say, got her talking. This is what she took. It's bad.
Alright.
Jalaran sent a quick message back, and it's like, now that we have this, do you think you can convince her to get to be properly seen? I'm sure she didn't have an easy time on the planet.
One moment. My commander wants you to be seen by the captain of the 31 ship outside.
I think...
No, not
just
the captain.
No,
Just
wait, no.
make sure that she's fully medically assessed. Allow the
Oh,
CMO,
okay, never mind. I got
allow the
confused.
CMO to take care of her.
All right, okay.
It's like,
All
now
right.
that she's got that off her plate, is she more willing to let the CMO take care of her?
Okay, it's like understood, Commander. I turn to her and say, "Now are you? We got this from here, Private. Will you be seen and for your medical issues?"
Yes, just one more thing. And she reaches and just quickly types in a couple of controls and transfers data into the Hypatia, but takes out the chip and takes the isolinear like circuitry bits and just ties that back onto a Virginia. I'm keeping this because this is a guarantee for me that I have leverage when I want or should need it.
As long as we have it too, I don't see a problem with that.
Jalaran already has a copy of the data, doesn't she?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I send it to her.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, okay, if you need your leverage for your peace of mind, that's fine.
Yep.
All right. Make sure I call it back in, everyone back in, and I say, make sure you get seen to, Private. We want you in full physical health.
Yeah. All right. I know I'm a difficult person to deal with. I don't trust people easily.
I've seen that.
And as long as I'm aboard this ship, I'm sure you'll continue to see it.
Yeah. By the way, that maneuver with with the with your shuttle when you tried to go into warp an atmosphere. That was gutsy.
It was stupid.
It was, but it was also gutsy.
Okay, yep, okay. I can feel the rib now. I think,
All
yeah,
right, yeah, let's get
it's
her. Come
difficult.
on. All right, all right. I'll head back up to the bridge. I've given on to the ensign and said, like, take care of her.
All right. The private does
All
look
right.
to you, Ensign Loris, and just gives you a quick like look up and down. You certainly don't look like a doctor or medical officer, but I've had a weird day, so maybe I don't know. I feel like you were just I don't know, just look like you're in security or something.
Uh, she got she kind of like she was absolutely sure that she was gonna say about her breaking arms and
Mm-hmm.
fixing them, which is what usually people say about her. But then in do, are you serious? I'm absolutely confident and secure with myself.
I'm about to be drugged with pain meds. I don't think lying will be in my repertoire very soon.
Well, Miss Psychology Major.
Okay, that's fair. As the hypo spray kind of hits her neck and is like, okay, I'm sure we can finish this conversation.
Uh,
She doesn't even finish the sentence, she's out.
insecure. You're insecure. Whatever.
Totally didn't hit a nerve.
Absolutely not. People just okay. I'm gonna look after her.
Okay. Uh, re entering the bridge, looking at the scan of the facility as the 3 officers that are down below are now live feeding what they're seeing. Commander, it doesn't really look like there was a struggle here, if anything.
Are you able to ascertain how long this place has been abandoned?
We're at a console now. Gonna give it a look over. That... Commander, this has been abandoned for about... if the logs are correct, 22 days.
3 weeks. What happened 3 weeks ago?
It's a short log, but it... short video log. I'll forward it up. There is a video log of what appears to be, they appear to be in the same type of, like, capacity as Dr. Atherton. Civilian contractor. Medical, though. As this, looks to be probably very middle-aged Boolean man. Kind of is talking to the screen, and you can see nervousness on his face. Well, we got to it. We have found success, and our benefactor has offered us a much more fruitful position. Not that we have much of a choice. If I can't leave too much on this log, as they're probably going to go over it, but let's just say it'll be nice It'll be nice working in a binary star system for a change. I guess our departure is here, and she doesn't like to be kept waiting. And the log just cuts out. The captain turns to you, Commander. I'm not an expert, but I feel like that scientist had a metaphorical gun to their head.
You'd be correct, Captain. There's more going on here than either of us know.
Commander, if I may, I'd like to run this recording down to Kavai, see if there's anything we can't scrub from it, and maybe pick up anything else, background noise, anything that'll give us something.
Go for it. And she addresses the next bit to the lieutenants and the lieutenant commander. Any other audio logs or video logs, send them up to the science lab for the same sort of scrubbing.
Yes, sir. There's not much to see. This medical facility isn't large. It looks like it was operated by maybe 13 people max.
Download all the data you can and send it up to the Hypatia.
Yeah, we'll get to it, and we'll beam aboard shortly. The captain speaks up. Lieutenant Commander Brescia, I'll be staying aboard the Hypatia for the time being. Take care of the Judicator while I am away. And looks distinctly at, like, the entirety of the Hypatia crew. I'd like to keep the paint job.
It gives it a little charm, don't you think?
I think Tate is thinking in their head. Let's see you try and make that landing. in their head.
Mm-hmm. Kai, you get a lot of stuff just sent your way.
Yeah, you also get a Lieutenant Caraballo to Kavai.
She does not answer right away, but when she sees all this information flooding in, I think she taps her badge, like, and you just hear this, look at all this! What do you want me to do with this?
Actually, that's what I was hailing you about. I'm coming down, and maybe you and I can work together to try to scrub anything we can get out of the background of any of these logs, recordings, whatever we can get, background noise. I don't know. Maybe we do some EM scans, see if there's anything abnormal.
Right. You said you're coming here.
If unless this is a bad time.
Camera pans out, you see her looking around her station, absolute chaotic mess. This is acceptable.
All right.
Frantic.
I'll be down momentarily. We'll see if we can't get something useful out of those.
Okay.
Caraballo out.
On the side, Jalora is going to assign a couple of techs to start scrubbing the... She's going to leave the audio logs, video logs to those two, but she's going to have techs go through the rest of the data to see what else they can dig out.
Try and make it a little less difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There is a lot to sort through, but for you, Kavai, and Lieutenant Caraballo, you're looking at the sensor logs, and you're going off of, like, if you're kind of doing that weird little screenshot effect for, like, each day that goes by, you do see something just ever so slightly, kind of in the background of like one of those planetary imaging sensors. Just somewhere in the background, something looks a little darker and distorted.
I'll just point to one of those instances, like, what is that? Are you seeing this?
Give it a squint. Hmm.
Is there any way we can enhance the resolution on this? Get any kind of...
I can give it
I'm-
a shot. Can I give it a shot?
Yes, you may. This is going to be... Reason Science difficulty 1.
May I assist?
Yes, you may.
Okay, and if I remember correctly, I'm pulling from my like knowledge. It's one die that I
Yes, it
assist
is
with.
one die with assist.
Okay. I'm sort of pulling from like my sort of security training to assist here to try to like
Mm-hmm.
basically just find any kind of like oddities in this that might in any way indicate to me that this might be some sort of like, because I'll tell you right now what's happening in my brain is, and therefore probably Alex, is something is cloaked or otherwise similarly hidden in the background, and like I'm trying to basically, yeah.
Okay.
Would infiltration focus help with that? Wait, focuses don't apply to assist, do they?
I don't think
No,
they apply to
They
assist.
do not
No.
apply to assist.
I thought I did.
Okay.
Otherwise, assist would be busted.
True. So it's just a straight up roll.
Yeah, otherwise we'd have the warlock problem in
And
the
is
game.
it the same role for me, or is it a different role for me, or?
You-
I think for you, I'm gonna switch it up just a little bit. I think this
Okay.
for you is gonna be probably insight security.
Cool.
And what were you having me roll again?
Reason Science.
Okay.
Oh, that's
15.
just barely one success from me.
My die escaped! Come back!
Oh man, the amount of times that happens to me.
Rolled a 3 and a 17.
Okay, that's still one
So,
success.
It's 2 because there's one from me too.
So there is a momentum then.
Nice.
Going off of this is some of the best technology you have had access to for
It's beautiful. I love this.
resoluting like very scuffed looking images, and using the intuition of Lieutenant Carabao, you're kind of working through and bringing up kind of this display screen and magnify, enhancing, and kind of cleaning the image. You don't see the full image, but there is no mistaking what this thing is. Very keenly, Tenkirabao's instincts were correct. Looks like there was a cloaked ship here. It isn't fully cloaked, it is the process of cloaked, but the distorted image and the slight shape that you can see, no question about it. It is a Deuterodix class warbird.
What do I know about warbirds? Also, sorry, Alec, you would be getting just standing around Kavai. Her energy is literally infectious. You just get this feeling of just delight when she's working with this technology, and something about that might spark as odd.
Okay. I'll sort of make a mental note of that, and I'm just like, Romulans, I should have known.
and for you, Kavai, the Dirtex class warbird. That is probably, in this current age, that is their strongest vessel that they have access to. It is ever so slightly larger than a Galaxy or a Ross class. They are big.
Well, an interesting player here. Very, very interesting.
Interestingly enough, you also know a fact about Romulan vessels. They do not use a warp core. They use a singularity core.
Sounds terrifying.
Yeah, they basically control a black hole to power their ships.
I'll tap my comm badge and just be like, Lieutenant Karabayo to bridge.
Bridge here. Go ahead.
Commander, Kavai and I have spent some time looking through this stuff. I strongly suspect Romulan involvement. There's evidence here to that point.
The captain looks directly at you, Commander. And he taps his own comm badge. Captain Tyler to the Judicator. Yellow alert. Commander, I suggest you do the same.
Yeah, it's like she's just gonna nod to the ensign in confirmation. She knows she doesn't need to vocalize it.
Mm-hmm. Do we think
My question
they've
is...
left, Commander?
By all indications, they got their ride 3 weeks ago. But do you have a means of scanning for residual effects of cloak?
I do.
May am I hearing this over comms or?
Yes, she left the comm open.
Okay. Commander, if I may make a recommendation,
Go
this
ahead.
is the area where the system we're in is home to a pre-warp society. Stands to reason that if we scan for warp residual warp trails in the vicinity, if we find something that's a little too recent for comfort, it's a good shot we're not alone.
I agree. I think if we pull both ships together, we can boost our signals and scans. See if we can fine-tune the area and get this done a little bit quicker.
Divide and conquer, Commander.
Mm-hmm.
You focus on the warp trail.
Or,
I'll focus
I guess-
on the singularities and such.
Yeah. I also recommend we expand our search to include any sort of gravimetric interference from the singularity cores. Gravimetric distortions of any kind, even however small, might be an indication of the presence of singularity cores.
She just quirks an eyebrow at the captain, since he volunteered to take care of the singularity.
Commander, I assume you heard that? I did, Captain. Well then, I hope you're in the process of executing that idea. Yes, sir.
If we have the Romulans in the area, I have a theory that I'd like to toss your way, spitballing a little bit, Captain.
While we wait patiently for the shark in the water, go ahead.
My theory is it was not just the outpost up here on the moon. They had something hidden down on the planet as well.
And Romulans don't follow the Prime Directive.
They do not. I would like to know if you have enough power on that ship of yours to punch through the storms to see if you can get a scan for anything hidden down there.
We'll probably have to knock out 3 decks worth of systems, but I think we could accomplish it.
Better than knocking out my entire ship.
Well, your ship can land on the planet, so, trade off.
Indeed. Shall we get started?
I believe we should. It's a feeling of when all these scans are running about. It really feels like one of those quiet, like, submarine moments where everyone's kind of held with bated breath, just waiting for some type of input to come back.
Jalorian would like to occupy herself with the information that Commander Hone forwarded from the private. Her science brain is starting to click into work here. She wants to see if she can get an idea of what these nutritional experiments were trying to accomplish. Like, furthermore than just weaponizing it. Was there a clear, is there evidence of a clear direction that they were going with this? What exactly were they, which strain were they trying to go for?
It's not necessarily a particular strain, but again, it's kind of like that weaponizing mood, but Romulans, as proud as they are, do allocate resources from other species when it is necessary. This right here feels like a form of silent conditioning. Maybe they're more suggestible. And this planet is only 26 hours away from the Sol system.
So more subversive tactics.
Mm-hmm. The ensign finally pipes up. I have something, Commander's Captain.
Go ahead.
Residual warp trail on the lateral northern area of this planet. It looks like a warp signature that had arrived.
How long ago?
16 days ago.
Any signs of it departure?
I can only find the one trail, Commander, but since I can't find anything else, it would suggest the answer is no.
So it seems our hunch that they're still in the system is correct.
The captain kind of turns to you, Commander. I get that we certainly didn't start off on the best footing, and maybe we'll circle back to that, but my ship is strong, but the Derricks class warbird, even with 2 vessels, is nothing to scoff at.
No, it isn't.
And I know I've been giving your ship a tiny bit of shit, but I say this with all honesty. I do not believe your ship is geared to deal with something like that, and mine is barely outfitted to deal with a couple of Tavaro-class bird of preys when they show up.
You'd be correct in that regard. We've got some tricks up our sleeve, but firepower is not one of them. So we're going to have to do some dancing.
There is a hail from Lieutenant Commander Brescia. Captain, permission to fire a low-yield deflector pulse. Shouldn't touch our ships. Like a sonar. Precisely. Well, why do one deflector, Commander?
We could do 2.
We'll have to coordinate this.
With each other, and let's try to make it look like a natural stellar phenomenon, so we don't startle our friends down planet side.
Yeah. On your mark, Commander.
When everything is ready, Ensign.
Okay. And there is both ships kind of go off together, and you can see kind of like the plasma lightning streaks go throughout the planet's surface, and the pulse kind of hits the atmosphere and does almost like an iridescent aurora to it, very briefly, as both ships get a read. There it is. 83,000 kilometers ahead. That's way closer than I thought.
They have been cloaked.
I think they know. As the
They absolutely know.
vessel decloaks. And there is a Judicator class warbird staring. It's a little larger, actually, than the typical Judicator class. It's about 1.5 times larger. As the Judicator and the Hypatia are staring down this vessel. Jaloran, you might not have had any direct dealings with a vessel like this.
Perhaps not her personally.
No. But you're aware that despite the Romulan effort that is going to evacuate Romulus, there are still members of Romulus that are divided. There is no mistaking. This is certainly her ship.
Sela?
Yeah. And that is where we will end for tonight, because...
I knew it. I knew you were going to do this.
But,
Bravo, Joe.
The minute she slipped out of your mouth, I was like, oh.
Yep. Yep. I figured, gotta stop at a place where it just makes everyone just want to wait on that. But with that regards, that is the end of episode 2 of Star Trek Intelligence. Lots of subterfuge, lots of cloak and dagger, lots of information to take in, and some information relevant and some not at all. And
Lots of crazy flying.
Hell yeah.
But kind of reminder to reiterate the end of announcements. The VOD will be available for a little bit. I will try and upload this, and it should be up by, I hope, sometime tomorrow or Monday. However, as a reminder, we get to a 30 follower goal, we will release the VOD for episode 0, Moving Day, because I think that's a treat that people would enjoy. And then if we get to a more ambitious goal of 50 followers, I will... the Rune and Relic dice will become a thing. They will be limited until we can do more with it, but that is a little thing to keep in mind to kind of support this channel and everyone here for their creative storytelling abilities. But for the time being, and we will see you all next week, as that is where we will have to end for tonight here. However, before we officially go offline, we're gonna ourselves do a little bit of decompressing, a little bit of, chatting, because that's healthy. But for the rest of you, you get wonderful little art beans. So we will see all of you next week, and I truly hope that all of us have been, at least for a little while, a little bit for your day, for your night, for a couple hours, or for a few minutes. I hope we've all been a little bit of an R&R for you. So, good night.